We are live, family. We are live. We are live. Welcome everyone on tonight's session. Um, Glad you guys are on here on tonight. Let's see who do we have inside the chat box. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. Um, I know last week I wasn't able to hop on and do a session, but I am free this week. So let's go ahead and dive straight into the charts. So right now, like I still want to see everything's kind of looking bullish for the most part. I know we're kind of just still trading in this general area here for ORPTC. Um, we actually are looking to continue on clearing these highs here. But as far as like buying opportunities, I do see some buys come in inside of here, work our way higher to clear this. If we're gonna find any buying opportunities, that would be it. That would be the play for basically this week. If you guys wanted to refine that entry, you can most definitely possibly even, shoot for entries somewhere inside of this candle here. That's if depending on we're getting like any of a stronger pullback into that area for BTC. If you simply just want to target this zone here, that would be the most appropriate because ever since Bitcoin came back into and fill this inefficiency, market just bounced out of this area, which actually fully, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Actually, fully filled in this entire area here, this entire inefficiency here, like I said. So I do want to see a continuation higher. And as far as TPs, this is something that you can, of course, target. Um, Anywhere inside of basically inside of this, the rest of this kind of here. That's probably be like the most conservative TPs. Anything higher than that, we could definitely see this high here, right? Get taken out. And then any other areas that we probably see, I can see these highs get taken out for sure. Really depends on the overall news that's going to cause it to make its way higher. Possibly, right? There's definitely a chance where we can definitely see all of this get taken out. I'm not against it at all. It just the current timing of the market and where it's at right now, I definitely do see some buyers come in, right? Go sideways and possibly even even sweep this. We're not out of the water just yet. I just know that I always start, um, as we start leaving this behind, it definitely is a strong chance that we even, could, take this out the entire liquidity trend in the near future. So I would rather just wait for this to happen. But as far as like first thing, I would definitely see some buys come in, and then of course use these as entries and TPs if that's making sense for everyone that's here. Um, if you wanted to see how much you'll be risking, actually not that bad. So if I were to create an actual setup, where's it at? Long position tool, that would be my entry. right at the opening of the candle, opening of the period setting candle, right? Opening, closing, next candle with bullish, there's opening, close. So the opening of the bearish candle that you guys see here, I'll move my stop loss below the wick right here. And then TP. You can drag this all the way up into, there you go. So, maybe like, around like, 1 to 3, 3.6 RR, which is not entirely bad. There's actually this fall in between the overall setup that we always like to take. Risking about 600 pips to make 2100, almost 2200 pips. So, which is actually a pretty good fair deal on this particular setup. Um, yeah, I definitely want to see how we kind of approach these areas, depending on like how the news really play into our favor. Then we'll probably see even a much more bigger expansion and take out the highs here. I don't really see anything that's left for it to reject off of. I mean, you have this instrument candle on the 3 hour that already been rejected. This actually was actually one of my personal entries that I took. I honestly wish I kind of like held some more of it because this definitely would have ran for, you know, ran for 7,000 pips, 6,000 pips around there if I held my regular entries from up here. So it's actually pretty decent. As long as I follow my training plan, that's all that matters. But I don't see anything else that will cause it to come back in here and reject because all the areas has already been taken care of. Everything's already been filled. If we were to come back and trade into it, it would just create more liquidity and it will cause it to continue going higher and then inevitably take out the highs here. Yeah, because I'm seeing all these system candles that are leaving behind and they've already been filled already. So there's not really a reason for it to continue on staying at these areas for long, around the 74.5 to 74.7 area. So, um, there's definitely something that I do see it get taken out in the near foreseeable future. I know we're kind of close to wrap up the entire month of March, so that new weekly and the new monthly candle, it is around the corner. Go back up to 4 hour. But I do see this opportunity here for BTC. So I'm gonna put my alert here. Now I'll definitely put my alert there for now. So for that's kind of like is the overview for BTC on if you guys are planning on taking on leverage or perpetuals. If you guys are taking perpetuals, definitely use lower risk. You guys know the deal. If you guys using yeah, if you guys are using perpetuals, use low risk. If you guys using CFDs, uh, of course, use low risk as well. Just in case crypto decides to just take a tumble. Because keep in mind, we still have a lot of liquidity that's still building up. Just to cover yourself and your entries, just make sure you guys are only risking the amount that you guys should be on your trading plan. Whether it's if you guys are trading on funded accounts, you guys only risking certain amounts. For me, I'm only risking about um 0.13% of my account. So it just depends on your trading plan, how you are as a trader, your lot size. That's just for CFDs. So you guys should be knowing how much you should be risking on your entire accounts. It shouldn't be um, no more than it shouldn't even be reach even a percent on your overall trade per trade. So just make as far as like your setups you should be risking like 1% on a setup. So if you do less than that, that would be perfect. So, it just depends on your overall like account size, whether you guys are trading on funded accounts, whether it's a 10K, a 5K, 10K, 20, 5K, 50, 100, it just depends. But as long as you guys using these percentage base rules per setup, then you guys are definitely will be good. Like especially during times of like market going sideways, you it's always good to take your profits, take your TPs, especially with BTC right now. It's just going sideways. So just it's very, very important to don't get greedy with your TPs in this current structure that we're in with BTC. Because the last thing that you guys want to do is be up a certain amount and you have an ideal target and it gets so close to it but doesn't really fully reach it, so and it starts coming back into your interest. So make sure you guys are taking profits along the way, whether it's like whenever you guys see like a massive sell-off or pretty good buys, start taking TPs at certain key areas, whether it's imbalances, or liquidity, or instrument candles, because that should be your main focus for currently right now on BTC. Next thing that I want to look at is Ethereum. I want to see what's happening here. I'm gonna delete all this. I would avoid. I'm not gonna trade ETH. I just don't like where it's at right now. Saying like I've been showing you guys with the rest of the market, all that liquidity has been building up. This one as well, creating that nice little trend line at this current moment. So this is definitely something is a pretty nice reaccumulation. The reason why I'm saying that is because market actually swept all the liquidity here. This low has already been taken, right? Filled in somewhat of this imbalance here. And as far as like continuation, I do see this continuing on going higher, taking this high here. Either if you play off of that's a 3 hour, you can play off of the 4 hour time frame. I think this will be a very good low risk. So if you guys are wanting to trade Ethereum, so we're risking about 200 pips. Even though it says like 220, just add an extra zero. So 200 pips on Ethereum just because of the count size. When you guys are counting pips, it's slightly different. So you'd be risking about that'd be your TP. So it'd be almost a 1 of 5, 1 of 4, 4.8 risk reward. This thing that I would take on um my accounts. Kind of go a little more heavier on the position as far as risk, just because I'm risking a lot less. So when you guys are, using, knowing how much you're risking on a setup and you know the dollar amounts, you can, increase your overall position, in which it will still be fall in your same parameters of how much you should be risking per setup. Does that make sense? So as I'm looking at these setups, um, both with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it shows the same thing across the board. And as far as TP wise, you can probably even, be more conservative, which I actually am. All this liquidity here. All right. Because if we're, target somewhere, I know this line is not straight, but somewhere inside of this area here, as far as TP. TP1, right? And then this is something that's still on the table. This liquidity here. We still haven't fully taken out liquidity that's resting on these highs here. We almost did, right? But not entirely there. So where BTC can go next, yeah, it would have to be somewhere above here. Yeah. Somewhere above 2470 would have to be where Ethereum can go to. It probably needs to fall somewhere inside of this imbalance here, somewhere in that imbalance. Maybe even come back into this zone here, potentially. This previous buying candle before we sold off, that could definitely be a factor. But somewhere inside of this entire imbalance could be where we can go to next and probably even, distribute and continue selling off to clear all of this liquidity here. But for now, just taking these shorter plays and just taking my pips and leaving. So that would be my overall game plan for Ethereum. I'm going to here clean up the rest of this chart here. That's taken out. That's taken out. Clear. Cool. Hopefully everything's kind of making sense so far on the areas I'm looking at for like what I'm looking at. To really go based off of my overall analysis on how I do analysis actually. Um, I really want to, volatility to come back into crypto a lot more. I know we're kind of getting, pretty good setups here and there. I know you guys are seeing this how the chats, the overall Zenrai ideas are being sent out. You guys took advantage of those buys that happening around here. It definitely ran for, it's currently floating 2,800 pips, ran for 4,000 pips to the top. So around 4,000 pips, which ran. So in a short period of time too. So make sure you guys are tapping into these ideas. Um, Once you're already progressing and start seeing more volatility in BTC, we'll definitely will catch more setups. More setups will definitely be sent out. But as of now, whatever the opportunity presents us, then we'll definitely will take it. All right. So with good old Solana, and yeah, I wouldn't touch Solana for now. I mean, the only area that it actually looks more bearish than bullish. I just I wouldn't feel comfortable taking these setups. Whereas the tool I'm looking for, brush. Yeah. Okay, so I wouldn't really. I mean, we have this here area here for sales, but I also see this next possible zone here, which surprisingly is right at the core level, whole level of 100, 100 Solana before we actually, of course, sell off. So this is definitely still pending. All this right here is still pending. Yeah, I mean, if there is a worst case scenario where we'll see Solana, this definitely is the general idea zone of where we have to see price come into. This would be a nice sell off that will scare everybody. I know a lot of people will not be ready for this, but as far as stacking buys, that would be great. I mean, I have a couple areas that I have in mind, but it's some of them is very, very. It'd probably be like another. I think I've covered this on previous sessions. Let's say 80% potentially. Then we have 30. So those are kind of one of my two key areas of what could happen or where we would could go to if we were to sell off on BTC. But I definitely want to catch these sales, either both perpetuals or just one of them, because that would definitely will pay. Total one, total one should be relatively the same thing that's happening with BTC. Lower time frame reaccumulation, fill in the entire gaps, the imbalances here, inefficiency here, um, right? Buys. You see some buys in that area here. Potential buys in here. So it should be the same thing as BTC. Take out the liquidity here. Yeah, so still the same thing. Still the same game plan for BTC. It'll just be another confirmation here that you guys can look at. We have liquidity over here for total one that we haven't gone to yet. So these are calling all these areas are still pending. But as of now, these are just, as for like the ideas, it'll be more of like an intraday trade. Uh, Depending on how volatile we get into those entries, into those zones. I haven't really looked at like Bitcoin dominance in a very, very long time. I feel like I haven't even looked at them. They were still trading in this area still. Ethereum dominance, not much has happened. Let's see, look at USTD. Not much has happened left. XRP. Yeah, I definitely do see XRP coming back into probably gonna go below a dollar. This will definitely be the key zones if you guys want to take some buys. Yeah, probably, if we come back to a dollar, I'll definitely look for price action. for XRP. That's if you guys want to take any kind of perpetual buys. Yeah, definitely will be looking for zones in here. Look at AVAX. I know AVAX is actually one of the charts that look somewhat appealing. Yeah, liquidity is still building up. So we're actually like, yeah, I definitely do want to see this liquidity get taken out. Here, cool. Yeah, that right now I'm kind of still waiting on this. This will actually be a lot more ideal for me as far as these kind of opportunities. Yeah, I'm definitely waiting on AVAX and Chainlink for perpetuals. Look at OTC, same thing. Liquidity there. Still got some liquidity below this wick here. So there's not really much to talk about. Yeah, that's definitely be a tumble if Litecoin decides to come back and just go below $22. Sheesh. Yeah, definitely taking these. Litecoin, AVAX, and Chainlink are still my main plays for perpetuals. Chainlink, same thing, same play. That's kind of one of the areas I would want to see happen. As far as like rejecting into, but anything lower than that, it would have to be a very, very aggressive selling candle if that were to happen. Um, but yeah. But other than that, does anybody else have any more questions before we head on out on tonight's session? I know these sessions have been more like straightforward. You guys want me to like, show you guys more in detail on anything, definitely let me know on the day trading aspect on my analysis. Because I do trade perpetuals, I do trade CFDs, not so much on futures. But if you guys want me to like cover more topics, definitely let me know inside the chat box or inside the Discord community or freshman chats that we do have. So it's always good to ask me and just elaborate more, and I'll be more than happy to do so. Yeah, I mean, for the most part, the plays are there. I will be sending this out inside of the chat. When you withdraw money from Phantom, do you send it to Coinbase and to your bank? Yes, I do. What I do is I've been mainly using Jupiter wallets just because of the since I trade mainly on Jupiter Exchange. So Jupiter Wallets, Jupiter Exchange has their own app. You can always import all your seed phrases that you have from your Phantom accounts into your Jupiter Wallet, which it will transfer over. And then, I'll always do all my swappings on Jupiter Exchange. So let's say if I wanna, I have Solana in there and I want to withdraw it, you can either withdraw the entire Solana. I believe if you do this part where if you convert your Solana into USDC on Jupiter Exchange and send your USDC into Coinbase, and from there, from Coinbase, you can withdraw it to your bank, and it will take about 1 to 5 minutes for it to pop up. Yes. Okay. So Jupiter does have an extension as well. Haven't tried it myself. I've been mainly using their app. But if you guys want to withdraw, and into your bank accounts, just um convert your crypto that you have in your Jupiter or Phantom into USDC, and from there from USDC into Coinbase, which is where you will draw it into your bank. I think that's like the cheapest route as far as like fees. I haven't really truly compared the fees in that matter as far as like if you were to draw on like Solana into your bank account because you still have to sell it, right? You still have to sell either because there's a fee for that, right? You still have to sell your Solana for cash, and from there, do another fee for it to send to your bank account, whether it's checking account or wherever you have connected. But I think the cheapest route, as straightforward and cheapest route on fees, is make sure you guys are converting your Solana or any Solana token into USDC into Coinbase and from there to your bank. So the only fee you're actually paying is for it to withdraw into your bank account. Does that make sense for everyone? Yeah, because I mean, with fees, like it adds up, but like as long as you guys save yourself like, well, maybe like a couple dollars of fees, then that's worth it, right? Because I mean, if you use it, if you withdraw quite often, then it's definitely will add up. So it's better just handle that, do the routes, just withdraw USDC Solana. Always make sure you guys are using the same network. When you guys are requesting or wanting to receive USDC, make sure it's USDC Solana, nothing else, right? Because since Jupiter is more primarily a Solana network, Solana app, so make sure it's the same network. If not, you will lose your USDC if you plan on receiving it USDC Ethereum. Very, very key. But other than that, yeah, I mean that's basically it on tonight's session. If we do decide to not come back into this buy zone, um, and it just leaves us, then most likely wouldn't really consider this trade idea valid anymore because I would have to readjust my TPs if that were to be the case. But then that was the place. I will send it out inside the Discord and see what's up. But that's it for me on tonight's session. I hope you guys have a blessed and wonderful night. If you guys want to see the entire breakdown on this analysis, then just rewatch the recording. But other than that, I definitely will see you guys next time. And on Yeah, I definitely will see you guys next time. But other than that, we guys have a blessed and wonderful night, and I'll see you guys when I see you guys. Let's get it.